Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. It is a Wednesday at 3 p.m. for our live Q&A that we have every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's good to be able to see you guys back here and all. But we are excited to be back to be able to talk about narcissism and talk about narcissistic abuse. A lot of times people don't really have a clue of what it actually is. And they're normally confused, like wondering, like, wait, is this actually something that I've been struggling with? Is this actually what's going on? So a lot of my platform, Raw Motivations, is built around the idea of providing awareness, growth, healing, and change. If you're joining us today on Facebook and on YouTube, we're going to be dropping links in the comments for you to be able to go live with me, to be able to ask questions, interact, and be able to share your story. So we're super excited to be here. I'm going to start dropping that in. Give me 1 second here. All right. Where's everybody calling in from today? So we've got a lot of stuff going on coming up. We've got holiday season. So holiday season is oftentimes time for holiday Hoover, and times when the narcissist is going to try to come back into your life to be able to get with you, to be able to mess you up, to be able to control you. All different types of things happen around the holidays. A lot of times they'll come back to try to be able to interact with you, thinking that, maybe this will be the time that you're going to let them back in. So we've got England in the house, San Antonio, Cincinnati. Awesome. Hi, happy Thanksgiving. I'm planning on separating from my husband at the end of the month. Do you think it's okay to tell him in advance, or should I not let him know until I leave? A lot of times what I've seen with narcissists is the idea that when you let them know ahead of time, they'll have a plan or a strategy to be able to keep you, or they'll start convincing you that, hey, this isn't a good idea. You need to be able to switch back and do whatever he wants you to do. So I'll be really careful about telling him in advance, especially if it's been something that in the past, whenever you've told him stuff or changed plans or had something that was inconveniencing him, anything like that, he got really upset, he got violent, like anything like that, like, your narcissist better than anybody else. So I just say, really, really, please be careful with that. A lot of times when people are getting out of these toxic relationships and abusive relationships, it's the best idea to be able to get out and then be able to take the time to be like, okay, now that you're out, file, do all the things that you need to do, but make sure that you're out and that you're safe first. Sometimes when people let them know that they're out, that they're going to leave, then that's when they change at the last second. That's when they try to make sure that you stay by manipulating you. That's when they get more violent. So as best you can, like, unless there's something different, I would say try to make sure that you're out and that you're safe before you let the other person know. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you like an idea. If you guys are just tuning in, my name is Ben Taylor, self-aware narcissist on this platform to provide awareness, growth, healing, and change. Try to help provide clarity for people coming out of the craziness of narcissistic abuse. The main thing that we're streaming on is YouTube and Facebook. I got TikTok streaming as well, just to give some people an idea of what we're doing. But on YouTube and on Facebook, you're going to see this link on the screen right there, the StreamYard link. You can be able to click on that to be able to go live with me, to be able to come on screen and be able to share your story, ask questions, interact, anything like that. So feel free to be able to click that so we can engage, interact. If you don't want to come on screen, you can still call in and just use it just like a phone. And just not have your face on the screen, or you can keep throwing in some of the comments and stuff on the live as well. So we've got Miami in the house, Pittsburgh, West Palm Beach, New Jersey. Awesome. It's good to see you guys coming in from all over the place. Thank you. That helps. Just feeling guilty because he's acting like everything is normal between us, but we haven't had sex in over 2 months and he bought a VR. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like, what you'll see is a narcissist will play it down and will try to make you feel like everything's normal, right? That's how they want you to portray and how they want you to feel like, hey, this is just normal. You should just deal with the abuse. You should just deal with the stuff that's actually coming on here. So there's a huge aspect of, narcissism that is like, let me just say this is normal. This is status quo. No, I said live. I didn't say live. I know it's hard. What's up? What's up? Katie, it's good to see you guys. Awesome. It's good to see everybody here. I tried to click and then it moved. Hi. Good to see you. Why do narcissists delete their social medias after an argument? Interesting. So there's not like a concrete, like they always do it because of this. A lot of times you'll have them maybe delete something because they're trying to hide something, or because they're trying to go to a new supply and they need to make sure that it shows that they're available. Like, there's a lot of different things that they got. I will change the statement around. Hopefully it doesn't sound bad. They're like doing like leaf removal outside, and in here it sounds really loud. I don't know how much is actually getting picked up from y'all. There you go. All right, I fixed the link. So a little bit different. A little bit different. Netherlands, awesome. California survivor. Why do narcissists breadcrumb after a breakup, even though they convey they want nothing to do with you? So it goes back to the aspect of supply. It goes back to the idea of like, I want to be able to have someone who's still coming after me. Now, the crazy thing is with a narcissist, you got to flip it in your head so that you feel better about yourself. Okay. So for me, it's like, hey, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want you in my life, but I want to give you tidbits so that you still keep coming back to me. Okay. Why? Well, when you come back to me, it starts making me feel like I'm a good person, or it makes me feel like, hey, I'm pretty amazing because this person wants me, or this person's interacting with me. So it's the whole concept of like, hey, you keep coming back to interact with me, shows me that I'm a great, valuable catch, like all that kind of stuff. Like that's like the idea of like, I have to be able to like switch it around in my head. So like when I breadcrumb, I got these people that are trying to come back to me or that are trying to interact with me. I don't want anything from them, but it shows me that I'm wanted, and that fills some of that like supply void. You have to remember, supply a lot of times looks a lot of different ways. So it can be positive supply, it could be negative supply. It could be, hey, showing this person like how much I love them. And then it could be calling this person out. Like there's a lot of different ways that a narcissist will get off on a supply. At the end of the day, a big aspect of supply is the whole idea of getting a reaction from you, like making sure that they get something from you. So it could be just a reaction. It could be sex. It could be, money. It could be time and attention. Like it could be a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, supply is where they get something from you, or you're filling them up in a different way. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But a lot of times people view supply as being like only one type of thing. You can have a narcissist that has a supply of like work or like a success, different things like that end up being certain types of supply that other people can't fill. Not always, but you do have some aspects like that. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to just going through the supply aspect. All right. Need first guinea pig of the day. So we normally have a couple people that come live throughout the show. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, you've got these comments dropped in here. It says, come live on today's show, ask questions, click on that StreamYard link right there on the screen. Just click on that in the comments. You can come live with me to be able to ask questions, interact. Breadcrumbing confuses me, makes it hard to move on. Yeah, the thing you have to understand is with breadcrumbing, you have to go off of their actions. Okay, like they're only giving you these small little pieces and there's no consistency showing that they actually care about you. All it is trying to keep you hooked. And the more you stay hooked, the longer it is to actually get free and to get to the place where that healing actually comes. But when you get to the place of saying like, hey, I understand what this person's doing. I see the lies for what they actually are because they keep happening over and over and over again. Once you start to see that, you're like, okay, I'm done. Because otherwise you're going to be constantly led on the whole time. So you have to be really careful about that. In an argument via email, I just said, I will delete my email address and will in the future find someone healthy. Then he emailed back, I need to see what he has at home. I said, I will delete my email address. I will in the future find somebody healthy. He then emailed back, I need to see what he has at home. I don't get the I need to see what he has at home. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what you're asking. Apparently, he was running me down for the last 12 years before he feed me to the wolves. He's still trying to play victim. We're trying to destroy me. I've got evidence he's lying. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, especially with like a covert narcissist, a lot of times you have like years of that abuse that happens like time and time again where they're wearing you down. They're wearing down your boundaries. They're wearing down your resolve. They're wearing down your values. A lot of different things like that happens. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Still need someone who's going to be the brave soul of the day. Let's see here. What did Narcissist X get from being emotionally abusive and deliberately triggering our anger and fighting? So that's the different form of supply. Okay, sometimes that supply is I made a reaction, and so I'm in control. I'm in charge. I feel better about myself because I'm not the one reacting. I'm the one that is getting reacted to because I created that reaction. It goes all back to the aspect of control. That's like a huge part of that. Okay. Would a narcissist actually block you some places? Yeah, no, a lot of times a lot of times the narcissist will block, and a lot of times the narcissist like will block you. Maybe it's to keep you away from them. Maybe it's to keep you away from the new supply that they're with. There's a plethora of different answers that can happen with that. All right. Who's going to be the first person? So either Facebook or YouTube. We've got a bunch of people on here right now. So come live on today's show, ask questions. Who's going to do it? We haven't had somebody in a while today. We normally have like a couple people each show, but go ahead and click on that StreamYard link. It'll bring you on. If you're on the phone, it should work under any browser. If you're on the computer, I think it only works on Chrome, but you can be able to click on that and be able to come live with me to be able to go and ask questions. So feel free to be able to do that. We run these every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Facebook and on YouTube. Facebook and YouTube is where we run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We've got a couple more that we're going to be finishing off this month for. So feel free to be able to check it out. All right, clarification. He is saying that I should see his new supply, but he's trying to hoover me to the extent he is just walking past my house. So with that, like you still need to go to the place of like blocking. Like we're dealing with stuff that you shouldn't have to deal with at this point because he's not completely blocked. Now I get them walking past the home that you're going to have to either ignore or doing a restraining order. But as far as like the emails and things like that, that's a huge piece that like you can delete your email and you can use an email blocker. You can use a lot of different things to make sure that you're not engaging with him because he's going to continue that engagement as long as you keep responding. Narcissists, a lot of times they just want you to keep responding. That way they know that they still have that attention, that they still have that person that's like chasing after them. Okay. Hello. Good to see you guys coming on here. Awesome. All right. So we're still looking for someone to go live today. Everybody's a little slow today. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. All right. So just click on that link. Ex-narcissist, new supply is also a narcissist. Are they likely to turn on each other instead of on me? Typically not. A lot of times they'll continue being with each other till it kind of like fuzzles off until they find like someone else, but it's not always necessarily that they're always going to do that. Okay. All right. Looks like I've got Jamie here in the studio.
Hey,
Jamie,
man. I wish I could say I was great, but I'm good.
Yeah. What's going on?
Married for 34 years. We've had our problems. We had children at a young age, set of twins at 17 and a son just a year behind that. Kids are great. They got their own careers. They got their own marriage, family. Mm-hmm. My wife and I, though, we've had some pretty rough bouts throughout the years, some good years and some bad. It got toxic. It's, this last 3 years, I guess you could say. And we, like I said, we've had problems before. I've actually stepped out of the marriage once before. And we got back together for, 12 years. We're rocking on. And then I was injured in a fire and caught, a little PTSD. I think that's when she started to see less of a value in me at that point because I was obviously vulnerable, and I wasn't Superman anymore. This is how it felt. But she stepped out of the marriage with a neighbor, my dad, and just completely lies about it, totally denies it because that is not who her mask represents, Gotcha. It's a little bit more detail than that. The neighbor's wife actually works for the same hospital as my daughter's work. So it gets kind of complex, with, interacting. If this was to come out, it'd be all over the office. So anyways, I had this gut feeling, started paying a little bit more attention, started leaving the house. We get to argument and I would leave. I had a drone, so I started flying it and she was walking over and spending the night with the guy, Of course, he denies all this. Right. But now, even during that time, she had another supply that she was working on. And now he's back in the picture. And she's trying to do this triangulation thing. And the no contact. I mean, I've done it for 3 months, done it, and then break it. It's tough. I gotta be honest. I mean, you're married that long. It's tough. You just kind of feel like calling them and cussing them out or something. Just sometimes it's just, it's once those feelings just become overwhelming, it's like, man, I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at everybody that has anything to do with this, and just kind of want to lash out. But I don't know. You're doing great work, man. I tell you what, I didn't even know what narcissist was until about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was like, what causes somebody to lie like this? A little white lie. Yeah, your butt looks great in those jeans. I get it. It's not changing somebody's path forever. But these lies are so deep seated, and the devaluing is evil. The things that are said, and the stuff that she makes up to just, the smear campaigns. It's horrible. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. And still, somehow, I love her, and I want her to be better. I don't want her to be like this. This is the mother of my children.
Right.
I want her to have a good life.
Mhm.
So it's just very confusing. So everything that you guys are doing and say, yeah, sometimes you're a little brash. You say no contact, do that, and
Mhm.
everything be good. It's tough. It really
Yeah.
is. It's really tough. So I know there's a lot of us that probably feel the same way, but man, you're
Yeah.
doing great work. Great work. I really appreciate it. Everything you're doing.
Yeah, no, I think like going no contact is, the ideal thing, but it doesn't work for everybody, and it's not always easy for everybody to do to the same extent, with kids, with different things like that. There's a lot of people that have done it, and it's not easy, but it is possible. But I try to work with people like wherever they are, but I try to get that message out of like that's essential a lot of times. The hard part is people a lot of times don't want to even consider no contact or going that direction because of what's in their head. Typically it's another story or a lie that's in their head that, if they love that person enough, if that person gets aware, if they, do X, Y, and Z, if they just get them to admit the lie, different things like that, that it'll
Yes.
change. But the hard
Yes.
piece is like after all of the demonstration, people don't take a look at the facts of being like, wait a second, what I'm thinking and believing actually isn't backed up by facts of the situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. The words don't match the actions and now I've had to backtrack through 34 years of marriage and look at these situations that I didn't have answers for then. You're just busy in life. You're raising, children. I'm working all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going back and putting answers to them, knowing what I know now makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
That radical acceptance, it works. It really does. But it still doesn't change the fact that, it hurts.
Right.
And that somebody could be this evil that that you're married to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough, really tough.
Yeah. No,
But so
absolutely.
advice is just no contact. What else do you suggest as far
So
as?
with where you're at with your story specifically, like part of it is you need to start getting to the truth of the situation, because part of what's going on is with all the lies, it makes you start to not doubt yourself, but it can make yourself doubt yourself as far as like you have to have her, admit it. You have to have her like actually like
Yeah.
tell the truth in that resolve. And that's the same exact thing the majority of people are looking for after the relationship when they're looking for closure. Is
Yes.
typically they're looking for the person to admit the things that they're actually doing. And at the end of the day, you already know, you have the evidence. And so at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's that thought in your head that needs to come to terms with, hey, this is actually the truth of the facts. This is the truth of the situation that I need to believe and understand that I'm right because I have X, Y, and Z. I have all this evidence that shows me these are the facts. So regardless if that person is not going to admit it or not, I need to make decisions based on the facts. And that's the hard part, is sometimes people they have the facts, but they don't want to go off of them because they want the other person to admit it. The hard thing is saying like, hey, you're wanting that person to admit something you already know to be true. You just don't want to accept it.
Yeah, well, it's that, and if they were to be able to find that strength to be able to admit it, that would be the beginning of their journey of growing. Like for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
if they could just get there, and that's what the big hope is here, is that they could do this for themselves,
Right.
and start their journey of change. It, I don't know. I
How is she invested any into herself to heal, grow, and change?
She's not. She doesn't self-reflect. Not that I know. Not that I can see.
Right. So that's the hard part, is like expecting an outcome when there's been no work towards it.
Right. I mean,
Unfortunately.
she said she was getting or seeing a therapist, but I know she's lying. She's lying because right off the bat she's talking about she's done healed and she's this she's gonna start moving on with this other guy, and then now she's not, and whatever. It's just, I'm like, man, Tanya, I'm sorry I shouldn't have said her name, but it's just like you there's no way that you, for 34 years of a toxic relationship, you're healed from yet. There's no way.
Right.
Hell, I'm wondering if I ever heal from it at this point.
Yeah.
I am a Christian, so I have that. I know prayer does a lot, it's helped out a lot, but I don't know if I'll ever be to the point where I'm comfortable in a relationship ever again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I completely see where you're coming from. I definitely would check out. Crap, I don't have the books here. One of the books that I would recommend, that like my wife has recommended to a couple of people, is The Body Keeps the Score, and then also the other one is Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And that one specifically from a Christian perspective with like affairs and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend like and taking a look at those, and then also just like starting to journal and write stuff out, because some of that like radical acceptance helps, with the idea of like walking through the path of like, hey, no, this is what I'm thinking, but like this is what's actually been demonstrated, and like writing out some of that.
Yes, I have been keeping a journal. A lot of it's some of the thoughts, some of the conversations. I've jotted down some of the details of that. So I can reference it, piece things together. I'm trying to get my own closure. It's horrible.
Right.
So the first book was what again? I'm sorry. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna rewind this and watch it later anyways.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Right. Thanks for coming on.
Hey,
man.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take care. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Katie. Oh, I like clicked it and it just showed up with no background. Can you hear me? Weird. All right. We'll see if we pop out and pop back in. Maybe it'll work. Brittany, you around? I've got Brittany in the studio.
That's arrived, guys. What's up?
There we go. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I was going to say another really good book for him is Out of the Fog.
Yes. Thank you.
Heard of that one?
Mm-hmm. I do not have it, I don't think. I don't know what I have anymore right now. Everything is in boxes, except for one bookshelf that is now in box. So I don't really know what I have. But yeah.
Yeah, Out of the Fog is a really good one for that. Just like breaking out of the fog,
Mm-hmm.
I think I related to a lot of what he was saying when it came to my mother-in-law, because it was just like, I just wanted her to admit that she did it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted her to like say, yes, I did that. And like, I held on to that for so long, or like I held on to the fact that like, maybe if I said the right thing, she was going to change and she would like finally see what she was doing. And it never happened. And like that, I think radical acceptance, it's like, you don't need to know their why, because even if they told you their why, guess what? It's never going to be good enough, guys. Like their why isn't ever going to be good enough. Yeah. And anyway, so yeah, it just reminded me of my mother-in-law, because it just, I just wanted her to admit what she did, and she never did. But it was just like that false hope of like, maybe she'll change. And like that hope is gone now. And not necessarily like, I hope that she heals, but I hope that she heals far, far away from me. And I hope that, I hope that she does find healing. But it's not going to change the damage that she did. And even if she became, and I think that, oh God, I heard this when I was breaking the trauma bond and it changed. Even if they changed and became the perfect person tomorrow, you would still have all your trauma responses. You would still have all of your past beliefs that you feel about this person. You would still have all that hurt and their betrayal.
Right.
So it's just like them healing or them like realizing isn't like this magic fix that's going to make everything be better. Like,
right.
I think that really was like a perception change for me. Anyways,
it's amazing how like so many people with narcissistic traits, so many narcissists that go to therapy like magically get fixed within like the first week to a couple months, and it's like, oh, I'm all better, and I mean, I've joked with my wife like that. We've come out of like couples counseling and be like, well, we're all fixed now, and we're like, nope, like more to work on, but there's a lot of times that narcissists will go to therapy and they'll be like, oh, like magically I'm all better, and be like, are you really? No, it's just because, therapists got a little bit too close to actually diagnosing you with the actual problem, and so a lot of times you'll see narcissists that go into therapy to try to, do one thing and it's completely the opposite, just trying to manipulate and everything. I was thinking like whenever you were talking just about like the closure piece, because that is like the biggest thing that a lot of people struggle with after the fact, or sometimes even in it, of saying like, I want the other person to admit what they actually did. And so often it paints this picture that closure comes from someone else, when at the end of the day, the closure comes from yourself. You had some of that journey with like radical acceptance, right?
Oh yeah, radical acceptance was a game changer for me. Give me 1 second, let me finish my bite.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's a huge piece, is like being able to have that radical acceptance, which I'll have Brittany talk about it here in just a second. But like being able to have that radical acceptance is essential of getting to the truth. If you don't know what the truth is, you're not able to actually have a foundation to grow from.
100%. So radical acceptance for me was literally just, I cannot change the past. I cannot change that person. But what I can do, I can change myself. I can look back at those situations and see what I did wrong, what I could have done better. And I can learn from my own mistakes and I can push forward. But like radical acceptance is, I can't change my past. There's nothing about my past that I can change. I can't change what they did. I can't change the lies they told, the betrayal I felt. But I can say, those things no longer have to have that hold on my life. Like they don't have to, I don't have to sit here all day with like the crippling angst of, oh my God, they didn't love me, or, oh, they lied to me. I can say that was what it was. And I know that there's better out there for me. Like I know that I lost that person so that someone better could come into my life. And I think that for me was just a blessing. And like with radical acceptance, I feel so much comes the gratitude, like the gratitude of, I get to move forward, and I did not deserve that abuse. I did not deserve that lies and those betrayals, but I can make something good out of it. Like if you would have told me a year ago that I would have helped as many people as I've helped on this journey so far, just by telling my own story, I would be like literally in shock, because I never thought that I would have that power. And like stepping into your power is so, it's just life-changing. It's awesome. And gratitude, just practice gratitude, man. Like it literally reframes your brain, guys. Like it's scientifically proven. They did a study with veterans, and they had veterans start practicing gratitude, and their signs of depression lessened, their signs of anxiety lessened. And like I felt it, because I've just like, and there's nothing too big or too small to feel gratitude for. Like you could feel gratitude for a freaking, like me, I feel gratitude for my Red Bull every morning. And to someone else, that is a horrible habit. But to me, I'm like, I practice gratitude today. I am thankful for that Red Bull. It's going to get me through my day. It's going to let me deal with my kids.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I just wanted to come drop a little bit of happy love for you guys, because I love you guys, and this is part of this is a community, and community was the most important piece of healing for me, was just getting involved with people that have been through what I've been through, who could validate my experience. And I'm thankful for everyone in that NARC community who has helped me grow and learn. And I'm thankful for you, but I'm not going to feed your ego.
Well, I'm thankful for you too, and I'm so glad about your journey. And also honestly, like a huge part is like being able to see the impact that you've had on a lot of people just sharing your story. So a lot of that
That's
is happening
awesome.
inside the Narc app on your own platform, like all over the place. Like really, really encouraged to be able to see that.
Okay, I'll see y'all later. Bye
Thanks
bye.
for coming on. Awesome. It's good to have you on. All right, Katie, let's try it again.
Okay.
I like went to click last time and it like showed up like a blank screen. So I was like, I don't know what happened.
I kicked something under the desk and I had to restart, blah, whatever, to throw on my computer.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I love it when you call it Narc Day, right? So kind of want to just remind people that tomorrow's not Narc Day. So they're going to come out the woodworks and they're going to come and get at you and you're going to feel bad because it's a holiday and we have kids together and all the bullshit they want to manipulate you with. Forget it. Reality is tomorrow is the same as every other day. It's no big deal. So I'm just hopefully encouraging people to not get sucked in or the holidays. And this is not me not struggling. For people who haven't heard any of my story before, we as a family relocated to Arizona a year ago. So I left my older sons, they're still in Washington, and it's just me and my daughter. I have never cooked a Thanksgiving dinner for 2 people in my life. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how to make little tiny amounts of stuff. And she's only 10. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. I'm excited for the opportunity that we get to have a very calm holiday. Because as Ben always says, it's not Narc Day, and the Narcs will find a way to ruin every event that does not revolve around them, right? So I'm
it's not Narc Day, but you're gonna have all these turkeys try to show up in people's lives.
Ben. Okay. But I mean, I just realized, I think the other day that this Christmas Eve, it's his year for Christmas Eve. This will be the first Christmas Eve in my life that I've been alone. I grew up in a family and I had family all the time. And then I left home and I got married and I had my first son and I've had children. I've never been alone on Christmas Eve. I don't have friends here. Like I work a remote job. Like I don't have community like that. Right. So I don't have friends locally. So it's terrifying. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, but I can do whatever I want at the same time. Right. I can go to Christmas lights by myself and that would be nice, right? And I'm probably going to go to midnight mass because I want to every year and it just never works because usually we're up until like all night wrapping presents and things like that, but I can do it all day while she's gone. So I'm trying to find all of that, like the previous person, looking for the gratitude in that. Like I'm so grateful. Like this is going to be amazing. So I'm very excited about what this looks like. I'm terrified at the same time and I'm a little sad, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm lucky that at her age, my daughter, she knows it's just another day. We can celebrate the togetherness and the family or whatever when it works for us, right?
Exactly. And you can plan your own Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and she'll come home, and that's the other thing. She comes home to me Christmas morning. I go pick her up at 10 o'clock. So technically, he gets even morning for a little bit, but I know my girl, and even on Christmas, this girl will sleep. So I'm like, it's fine, you know. So it just I'm trying to put that spin on it, right? Yeah. And remember, even as Christmas approaches, it's not Narc Day. So he's going to try and make it miserable. But also, I wish, and I know that people said, just wait. He's not living the dream. He's not. It's going to unravel. It's going to fall apart. And it could be that he's now got his clutches in this person. And they could be married for another 10, 20 years or whatever, but it's not going to be happy. Right. I know that he called somebody to help her get a job. He had to get her a job at his job. He's like, this whole fantasy about, oh, we're going to do this, be amazing. My life is going to be incredible. It's not. And already it's crumbling. I'm like, oh, so it's kind of like, just sit back and go, oh, damn, that sucks to be you, I guess. I don't know. So it's bizarre. And also I was telling my friend last night, this time of year, everything triggers me because this is when things were falling apart. This is when I asked for a divorce and he wouldn't give it to me. Right. And he still abused me and controlled me. And it was just mental, whatever's horrible. Right. But there's these things. I'm like, oh, this holiday event and this holiday event. But I'm like, oh, this is how he blew that. Oh, yeah. I took my daughter to do this. Meanwhile, he was in another state with his girlfriend, not giving me a divorce. There's all this toxic crap that happened in a couple of months last year. So I'm kind of apprehensive of that because those things keep triggering me. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
I mean, hopefully now going into it, you have and been equipped with more of the tools to be able to handle the triggers than what you had the year before. So I definitely would recommend and push you back to even what we have in the software in the NARC app, but like going through like that, like stacking idea of like, what's the trigger? What's the emotion? What's the feeling? What's the fable that I'm telling myself? The story I'm telling myself? What are the facts about it? And then what's the news story? Because the more you do that, like literally, like I've got people that are doing them like one every day, as of right now. I think tomorrow, I think today was like my 809th one that I've done. Like the more you do it, the more clear you get about everything, not just that relationship, about everything. But those triggers, the hold on you reduces and reduces and reduces so much more. Yeah. But I love how you're going into the holidays, like just like with the mindset. Like I know the freedom is like excitingly terrifing, right? It's like sweet, I'm free. Crap, I'm free. It's like what do I actually do? But going into it, the cool thing is like you acknowledging that ahead of time, acknowledging it all the way now. It's like going into Christmas and the holidays. You're like, I can set a plan. I can have intention. I can show up and be congruent with how I want to live, even if I don't feel like it in the moment. I'm like, no, like I want to be this person. I want to show up this way. And it gives you that time to prepare and put in, plans, habits, and good triggers in place to be able to get you through that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like I'm putting out a good vibe to the world too. And I feel like I know that it takes a long time to heal. I know I'm not perfectly healed because I've been talking to a person and they're healthy and they say, oh, I'm doing this and this. Of course, my trigger is, oh, but is he really? How do I know that? Okay, can you stop. Like there's no reason at this point. I have a very good friend who talks me off the ledge all these things all the time. And my aunt who's like, quit sabotaging yourself. I'm like, but what if, and it's really hard. It's hard, but I want to just be at peace with it, be calm with that. But, you can't help it after, I was in my toxic marriage for 10 years. And so those things are ingrained in your brain. And so it's really hard to overcome those things. So I'm just.
Yeah. It takes a long time to start building back your confidence, building back that repetition on a day-to-day basis of how you're interacting, how you're setting boundaries, how you're getting engaged with other people just in life, to be able to say like, I got this,
Yeah, no, I've been having fun with boundaries. So that's good. I'm like, nope, this is what it is. And it's amazing to be talking with somebody who doesn't push back on that or tell me that my boundary is wrong or that I'm unreasonable. That's not, you're so.
It freaks you out some, doesn't it?
I'm like, oh, so it's okay? Oh, so you agree? This is okay. So yeah, it is. It's kind of like, awesome. Yeah. So that's been kind of fun.
I don't know if you follow on TikTok, KP Stratman, but she has a lot. She's one of the Narc Avengers, and she has a lot of really cool videos like that show parallels and contrasts between healthy and toxic relationships. And she does like all her own skits and does a fantastic job of like going back and forth of like, she'll say something to like the toxic person and then it like zooms out and it's like what she remembers, and then he's like, yeah, that's fine. Like it's kind of stuff like that. How you're just saying she has some really cool skits like that.
Yeah. And I have good support. Like I said, my aunt's amazing because I was telling her about how I just triggered. She's like, Katie, because what you've been through, it's going to take you a long time to stop immediately thinking that. Your knee-jerk reaction is, and then I'm quick to just write them off. And then my friend's like, stop it. So I'm very blessed to have this really good support system who's telling me, get it together. You're overreacting. Did this person say those words or did you hear those words in your head? Like, where did that come from? So I'm super blessed and very appreciative, but I just wanted to jump on and try to warn everybody. Remember, it's not NARC Day. They're going to try and ruin it. So don't let them. That's part of your power too.
Exactly. Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it. It's good to see you.
All right. Good to see you. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Awesome. That's how it works. If anybody is curious of how it works, you just click on that link, that StreamYard link. The username was KP Stratman, KP-Stratman. If you want to know any of the people that are actually in the Narc Avengers, you can do two different things. You can, on whatever profile you're on. Actually, I'm not sure. I want to say we have one on Facebook, but now I'm like double guessing myself. Who cares? Just go to narcavengers.com. That's the easiest one. If you go to narcavengers.com, you'll see all 16 of the Narc Avengers that are on there. We have also a TikTok and a Instagram, Narc Avengers That's what it is. So you can find us on all there. But yeah, we're super excited. We've done a couple different meet and greets. We've got a couple other things coming up all around the country. I know there's a couple places on the map coming up in 2023. I hear New York is possibly coming. Also maybe Chicago, Los Angeles, a couple other places. So super excited about that. You can get more updates and more info at narcavengers.com. As for me, we're going to be releasing some new stuff coming up here in just a little bit. Tomorrow is actually release day for Clarity Challenge. If you guys don't know anything about it, we are running a 45-day Clarity Challenge, and it's a way for you to get clear from the toxicity, of you to start clearing your mind, your heart, your emotions, your mental, like everything that's going on, to be able to get clear and to be able to find the you that used to be there before the toxic person. How do you find you? A lot of times people are struggling with that question. Who am I? What's left after being with a toxic person? And give you a little tidbit. You can go to claritychallenge.net, claritychallenge.net to be able to get some of the info. We'll be releasing the opportunity for people to be able to sign up and take a look at it tomorrow. And it'll be open for a week and then close. That way we're running them in groups. So we have the first group that was going through and testing it right now. We have a next group that's starting on December 1st. Spots are limited because we're trying to make sure we're testing this and honing it in to be the best possible it can be for you guys. So super excited about that. Be able to check out claritychallenge.net. If you want to talk to me sometime one-on-one or be able to work with together for coaching to be able to help get clarity from the toxic relationship and just have an idea of what's going on, you can go to rawmotivations.com, click on one-on-ones. Love to be able to help with there as best I can and aid in your healing. We'd love to be able to interact with you in our community where we have weekly lives with coaching aspects that happen to it that are going to be accelerating in 2023. Also monthly coaching calls, tracking no contact, journaling inside the NARC app. You can go to narcapp.com. All the links are in the bio. If you haven't had a chance, we got the journal From Fantasy to Reality. It's got over 100 prompts making you think and question what's actually going on after that toxic relationship. So feel free to be able to check that out. I think that's all I have. There's something. Oh, if you want to hear the wife's perspective, you can go to Trauma, Drama, and Life. That is our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Trauma, Drama, and Life. Would love to be able to have you interact. The first season is out. Second season is coming in 2023. Not just podcast, but also video as well. So we're super excited to be able to take that to the next level. As a couple people were talking today, one of the things they kept bringing up was gratitude. Which is kind of ironic. I don't have my whiteboards here to be able to show you, but like gratitude is actually on the books for the next journal that actually is going to be coming out, which is going to be a gratitude journal or gratitude based couple of things that we're doing because it's a huge piece. We need a lot more gratitude in our lives every single day. You know, it's not just one day out of the year for those of you that are in the States with like Thanksgiving, you know, but it's not just one day out of the year, but it's every single day of how we're going to show up with the intention, with the gratitude of how we're showing up, of what we're experiencing, of where we're going, of how we're interacting, how we're living with our vision and values. All those things are super important, but a lot of it bases on gratitude. How are you finding your gratitude today? Thank you guys so much for coming on. Check out claritychallenge.net. It's releasing tomorrow. So you get first dibs at taking a look at it and being on that releasing here in just a couple hours. All right. Anyways, thank you all so much. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful Wednesday. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. For everybody else, happy tomorrow. And we'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a great day. We'll be back Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time.